think you can hear me now. Okay, so this is the day of the technical problems and technical difficulties. It should be okay now. And what I was saying until you could not hear me was that, hi, I'm Erika of 𝐌𝐎𝐑𝐄 and you are watching Coffee Time with Erika. Also, I apologized for being late today a little bit. I had already, before the sound thingy, I had a technical difficulty that I couldn't start my hand camera. And for today, I prepared something for you, which I really would like you to see how I am actually doing it, not only the illustrations. Today, we are focusing on connections. How beautiful it is, isn't it? We are going to connect beaded motifs to each other, and then my favorites, metal, glossy metal components to beaded motifs, how we can actually make our nice beaded motifs into finished jewels. I see many of you joining already. Nearly 50 of us, and that's wonderful. I'm really, really happy that you could make it today. And yeah, so since we started to bead together, then I can really, sorry, I try to focus also on the comments, and I need to get back about, after all the technical difficulties. It feels a little bit harder than usual, but I'm here. So what I wanted to say, that since we started to bead together, I can really see a progress in how you ladies are constructing your jewels. Starting out from simple motifs, I very often see now very elaborate jewels made by you, sometimes several motifs joined into each other, sometimes the motifs being personalized according to your own taste, sometimes making modifications, adding components, crystal connectors, different kind of chains, and so on and so on. And I put on the screen a beautiful jewel made by 𝐅𝐎𝐋𝐋𝐿, where you can see a perfect example of this. We started to be together with 𝐷𝐿𝐻𝐋𝐿 nearly, I think, 15 years ago, when she first came to my bead shop in Slovakia. And I remember the first lessons and everything, and look how beautiful the necklace from several different components and with the crystal connectors that 𝐷𝐿𝐻𝐋𝐿 made is. The colors, the shapes, it's beautiful. I also have here a set created by Kata, and Kata again took one of Zuzi's recent designs, and besides creating a pair of beautiful earrings, she also took the element to the next level and created a statement pendant with a glass dropping metal setting at the bottom and the chaton in the middle. This is made by Zuzi, and here Zuzi joined the, like, in size, so small, I also have it here, so small, tulip tower component, and by adding glass drops in metal settings and crystal connectors, she created this beautiful set. And then we have here an earring by Tanya, and Tanya used the Primavera motif and added a crystal connector, actually 2 crystal connectors, to make it even more special. And then we have here a necklace, a really beautiful necklace created by Anita, and it's made from the Jodhpur beaded bead. And Anita again used here different kinds of connections and made it into this very special shape. And I hope that the tricks and tips that I prepared for you today, they will also help you on your journey to create jewelry that you feel that it really is following your heart, following your taste. And I love seeing it when it happens. So let's get started. So even with single motif jewels like an earring and all kinds of bracelets, maybe except bangles where we don't have to add a clasp, and also with pendants, we always face the same question: how to join the components to each other and how to make sure that the clasps, the earring components, all the fancy little shiny things, they turn the right face and they don't face with the backside to the front when we want to show them off. And sometimes the loops of these components make it possible to bead through them very simple from right to left, but sometimes the loop is the other way from the front to back, and that can be a challenge on how to fix everything that they turn always the right way. Luckily, there are simple solutions to all these situations, and today I would like to show you some of my favorites that I like to use all the time. I prepared for you 2 tricks showing you how do I join beaded elements to each other, and then I have 2 more tricks when I am joining glass in metal components or findings, actually it doesn't matter, but something from metal to the beaded elements that I have made. So let's get started with joining the beaded components to each other. I will put also my hand camera on screen. Finally, I can do that. So I'm super happy about it, that it worked out. And as an example, I would like to show you the bracelet here. This bracelet is a combination of some Jaisalmer motifs and peyote bezeled chatons. I joined these to each other at single points and without adding any additional beads. The motifs are relatively slim, so it's enough to join them at one point, because even with only one connection, they will not turn to the wrong way. And if someone would like to learn more about creating peyote bezels like this, for example, around the cabochon, then make sure to visit beadingschool.com and download the Forget Me Not tutorial where you can learn how to do it. So with peyote bezels, sometimes it's super easy to join the bezels to each other when the initial circle of the bezel consists of a number of beads that can be divided by 4. It means that if we can divide the number by 4, for example, with a 12mm cabochon, when we have 32, and then it can be divided into 8, then it means that the 2 joins exactly opposite of each other can be created symmetrically, and it's super easy to do it. But when we have a smaller cabochon, like the 8mm, for example, then, or it doesn't even matter what the size, but it matters that what is the initial circle of beads. That, for example, when I'm working with an 8mm cabochon and I have 22 beads in the initial circle, then there are no 2 beads which would be symmetrical opposite of each other. Dear Beth, I see your question. Let's talk about it. Thank you so much for your generosity. Let's stick to the topic when I walk you through these tricks, and then at the end I will be very happy to answer all your questions about anything else, but let's first go through the things that I have prepared for you. So, peyote bezels. In case of an 8mm cabochon or other cabochon where we don't have a number that can be divided by 4, then we need to create a joint for the opposite side. I like to join on one side the components directly into the bezel. However, on the other side, sorry, I'm still cutting my fire line. On the other side, I need to add an extra bead to do that. So that bead is called bead in the ditch, and I would like to show you how to do that. Usually, I join the components to each other by using the middle row of the 𝐁𝐄𝐃𝐃𝐈𝍍 beads, but of course you can deliberately change that and join the first bead or the back bead. It's not a problem technically. And here I have a bigger bezel made with the gemstone cabochon that was included in the Maharaja box. And again, I will bead to create that bead in the ditch to create a joint. I bead to a delica that is exactly in the middle row of the bezel. The chaton has 3 rows. This one is a big, thicker cabochon, so it has 5 rows of 𝐁𝐄𝐃𝐃𝐈��� beads. And after exiting a delica in the middle row, I picked up a new one, which will become the bead in the ditch, and then I bead through the next 𝐁𝐄𝐃𝐃𝐈��� that is in the same row as the one that I was exiting before adding the new one. So this can serve as a joint in the future. To get back to it, I make a U-turn through the next 2 beads. And I bead back through the bead in the middle row, the new bead, the next bead in the middle row, and again one more U-turn. I see you, Corinna, you would like to see my earring. I will also show it at the end, okay? I actually have a trick connected to it, so then I will show it to you on the camera. So after the next U-turn, again, I'm beading back, and now I'm exiting this extra bead that I can connect to something else, another beaded motif or the metal finding. So this is how I add the extra that can serve as part of the connection. And Beth says, I have always gone all the way around again. The U-turn is a great trick. Indeed, if that's a possibility, of course, to go all the way around. And if you are still attaching some other beads all around the bezel, then it is handy. It's not a problem. But if you are not adding anything else, then you can use this U-turn. And actually, if you want to really secure this bead in the ditch, because you know that maybe you would like to hang on it something heavier, then what I like to do, that I also attach it to the beads that are next to each other with some tiny square stitches. So I went through the delica bead that is in front of it in the bezel. I beaded back to the bead in the ditch, and then I also attach it to the bead that is behind it in the bezel, and then also one more time through the new bead in the ditch. So now it's secured like for 100%. It really doesn't move. So then you can use this trick even to hang something else, especially if you are making statement necklaces. Then this, and it will become heavy, then this will help you out. Cynthia has a question. So Cynthia is asking, is stitch in the ditch the U-turn beads then through the added bead? You can add the bead in like two different ways, with the U-turn, or simply by beading all around as Beth said it, and adding a bead in between two beads that are in the same row of the bezel. So it can be done in multiple ways. The bead in the ditch is more about the position of the bead and not how you attach it, because as you can see, you can attach it in different ways. Also, how I did it, that I attached it to the front bead and the back bead, but the important thing is the position, that the bead is in the ditch between two beads that are in the same row of the bezel. I hope I was clear with this. Please let me know. Let me know if you still have questions about this part. So this is how I added on one side of the bezel. You see, this is how I attached the last bead of the 𝐁𝐄𝐀𝐃𝐈𝐍𝐆 motif. That bead can be a completely new one like here, or I can bead through, I can attach a bead that is already part of another component, like here the 𝐁𝐿Mer. So that was one way of making a connection. Pale the bezel, bead in the ditch, and then square stitch. And when you are attaching the new bead to this bead in the ditch, or in any position actually, then my absolute favorite is, and the simplest way to do it is to attach it simply by square stitch, but always make sure that you retrace the thread path and you bead at least 2 times through the beads. So I was exiting the joined the bead in the ditch, which will become one of my joined beads. Then I beaded, now just for the example, and then I will take this apart. Don't freak out. So then again I bead through the ditch bead, I bead through the other bead, which is like part of the other component, and again, the ditch bead. So at least 2 times, but again, you can go 3 times too. 4 times I would not suggest, because the thread is visible on the sides of the beads, so that might make it look not so nice. So this is one way of connecting two components to each other. Another way of connecting components to each other is, okay, this was actually the 𝐁𝐿Mer motif, the bottom of the 𝐁𝐿Mer motif, and another bead in the bezel with 2 tiny square stitches. And another possibility how to connect motifs to each other is when I am connecting them at 2 places. So I might want to, and when I am adding some extra beads in between the two motifs, I can add only one single bead, like here in the Starry Night themed bracelet. I can add a group of beads between the motifs, like here in between the 𝐁𝐄𝐀𝐃𝐈𝍍s. I have here, I used as a connection, a round 15, then a 6mm round pearl, and another round 15. And I connected the motifs to each other at 2 points, also because I like it this way, but also to prevent them from turning to this side. And Cynthia is asking for the square stitch. I was just showing it a minute ago, the square stitch with the peyote, the stitch in the ditch. You can rewatch this as many times as you would like to. So after the live video, you will be able to watch it again and again, even stop it and watch it as many times as you would like to until it's clear. And if you have questions, then please post your questions in the Beading School Club, and I will be super happy to answer them all. So when I am adding some extra beads in between the motifs, then I'm doing it in a different way. And let's see an example. So imagine that I would like to create an eccentric bracelet from the 𝐁𝐿Mer and the Art Deco pearl chain. And let's imagine that I would like to join one of the pearls to the 𝐁𝐿Mer, but while adding also a round pearl in between. And to do that, I need to designate, of course, that which beads will I join to each other. So I will join, this will be one of my joined beads, and my other joined bead will be this round 15 here. So first, I need to bead until I am exiting my first joined bead. So in this case, I am exiting this round 15 here. And please notice that my thread is hanging from the bottom towards the top if I put it down in this way. And then I pick up my extra bead, which in this case will be a 4mm round pearl, but it could be even like a sequence of beads, as I told you before. And then I bead through my other joined bead from the 𝐁𝐿Mer motif. And if I was beading through my first joined bead from the bottom to the top, then I want to bead through my second joined bead also from the bottom towards the top. And then I bead back. I bead back. And I bead through the round 15 one more time, in the same direction as before, from the bottom towards the top. So it means, of course, if I would do this joint for real, then I would retrace the thread path one more time. But what's important, that if I went upwards through my first joint bead, then after crossing the new bead in the middle, in between the two, I will also go from the bottom towards the top, and then bead back through the new, and again from the bottom towards the top, or from the left to the right, always in the same way. And this way I am creating a cross instead of two threads running parallel to each other. And, or as Cheryl says, hi Cheryl, that it's like a figure 8. And a few years ago, a beading friend here in the Netherlands, 𝐁𝐄𝐿, advised me to do it this way instead of creating two parallel thread passes, because then the pulling and the pressure in the thread, it is divided in a better way. So for myself, I call this the 𝐁𝐿 cross. I also told her, she was laughing about it. So this is my way of joining motifs to each other when I have something extra in between. Do you have any questions about this part? If not, then let's move on to the next part. And in this part, I will be showing you how to join beaded components to metal components or glass components, or even clasps and earring findings and charms and anything where you have a loop that is already there on your component. As you can see, some of the components, they are created in a way that the loop runs from side to side. So that's the easier way to attach something. That's what I am going to show you first. So, just a moment. This is, for example, the case of this earring component here at the top. What we are going to do now, when the loop of the earring component is parallel, the hole in the loop is parallel with the 𝐷𝐿 Erika that I am going to that I attached it to. And what I'm hiding here, by the way, this is the second statement jewel that I have created for the Art Deco box, and our future students will still get not one but two tutorials for their Art Deco box, which will be included. So this is going to be one, and the loop that we are attaching now, it's like the earring at the top. So I'm going to show it on this charm. And on this tulip tower component. So when I would like to I really hope that you like it, ladies. I think this really came out like super Art Deco. But if you bead it from the Maharaja colors, then you can also imagine it as a peacock. So it can also be an India-themed jewel, I think. So I bead to my joint bead, and I'm going to attach this charm where the whole of the charm runs from side to side. To do that, I pick up 3 round 15 seed beads. I bead through the charm, and then I pick up 3 more round 15 seed beads. Usually the 3 beads work, but in case of some other components, you might need to change the number of beads to something else. I use also 4 or 2, it depends. And then I'm beading, and this is important, that I am beading through my joint bead one more time in the same direction as before. So this is how it looks like at the moment. And no matter how would you like to progress, I always recommend to retrace the thread path at least once. But you can do it even twice. So I retraced it once in an ordinary way. However, what I really like doing is that I bead through the first 3 beads. I bead through the loop of the component, and as I said, it could be anything, a charm, an earring, a clasp, whatever. Then I bead through the second group of new beads, and I skip the joint bead, and I go directly one more time through the 3 round 15s, the charm, and 3 more round 15s. And this way I created a more elegant shape of this extra loop created from the round 15s. So I really like this small additional touch. And what I'm showing on the bottom two pictures on the illustration is that you can actually, this is something very simple, but still you can make different variations of it. So on the bottom left picture, I retraced the thread path while skipping the middle bead out of the 3. And this way I created a more rectangular, like a rhombus. Is it a rhombus is a rectangle, right? Or someone who is better from geometry than me. Tell me, please. So yeah, if you skip the middle bead out of the 3, then you can create a different shape than this is the original, this is the teardrop shape. And then if you retrace the thread path while skipping the middle bead, then you create rhombus. Donna says a rhombus is a warped square. So this is another possibility. And actually, I used this same component from this earring that I created when thinking about the possibilities of the Art Deco pearl chain tutorial on the Beading School blog. So on the bottom right picture, the 4th illustration, you see that again I am retracing the thread path, but I am skipping the beads that are next to the loop of the component. And that way, my problem with this was that the charm was hanging a little bit too low, and by skipping the seed beads that are next to it, I could pull the charm a little bit towards the pearl, and it didn't look weird anymore. And sometimes I do that also in case of earrings. So just so you know, that's another possibility, that's another trick that you can do. And now let's move on to the tricky part. Most of the questions when you ask me about attaching extra components is that, how do you attach something when the loop is in the wrong way? And I have to tell you that since I figured out how to do it, then actually I like components more that have the loop running from the front to the back, like the Art Deco earring here, or for example, the glass drop-in metal setting at the bottom of the new earring. So I'm going to show you now how do I do that. Just a moment. And by the way, like most of my favorite components tend to have the loop running from the back to the front. So I absolutely had to figure out something to make sure that they face the right way. And for that, I want to show you something that we will bead together actually on Friday. This is, I think now this will be my last Art Deco motif, but this is how also I attached this part below the motif. And I just want to show you, just for fun, that how would it look like if I attached it the other way, so you can imagine it better before making your decisions. So for attaching a component where the loop is facing the wrong way, again, I bead to the place where I want to attach it. I pick up usually my 3 round 15 seed beads. I bead through the component itself. Thank you so much, ladies, and I can't wait to see all your beautiful versions of this, by the way. I think this has a lot of possibilities again. So I picked up 3 round 15s, the component itself, and 3 more round 15s. Again, if needed, then you can, of course, adjust the number of the beads that you are using. And you might remember that when we were attaching the component which had the loop running from side to side, then I beaded through the joint bead from the same direction as before. In this case, I am beading through the joint bead backwards, so in the opposite direction. And after making this first part of the stitch, of the attaching, you might say, like, Erika, but it's hanging all wrong, it's hanging to one side. And that's why we need to even it out, even the component out, with an extra stitch and pull it down to the middle, because now indeed the component and the extra beads, they are hanging towards the right. And to even them out, now I'm exiting the joined bead from the opposite direction. I'm beading back through all of them, 3 beads, then the component itself, and 3 more beads. And then I'm beading into the joined bead, through the joined bead in the very original direction. So if I was exiting the joined bead before the retracing part from right to left, now I'm beading through it from left to right. And since both groups of beads are attached now to the left and the right side of the joined bead too, now when I pull the thread, then they are exactly in the middle of the joined bead, exactly pointing down. So this is how this would look like if the extra component was attached to this side. So this easy. And if you want to make it look really elegant, then you can do the same as with the other type of attaching, that you bead through the 3 beads, you bead through the component itself, you bead through the other 3 beads, and then without beading through the joined bead, you retrace the thread path one more time. So again, you are creating that teardrop shape. It's tiny and it's really a small detail, but these small details can really make a difference. So, oh, Donna says, this is the magic I was expecting you to show us. I'm really happy that this helped, Donna. Cheryl says, I mess this up frequently and have to rewatch Erika doing it. Cheryl, this will be available to you all the time. And I actually already finished writing 2 blog posts, one showing and explaining the attachment between beaded motif and beaded motif, and the second part explaining the attachment between beaded motif and something metal. So that will also be available to you all the time. I will publish them later. And what is a nice thing to remember, when the loop is in the right way from side to side, then you are beading through the joined bead always in the same direction. No matter how many times you are retracing the thread path, always, let's say, from left to right. But when you are attaching a component that has the loop running from front to back, then you need to change it up and even it out. So that's when you need to change the directions and make sure that both groups of the beads holding the loop on the front and on the back, they are nicely evened out and joined to both sides of the joined bead. And to share some more examples, this is how I join, for example, charms, but the same works. You see, it works also for clasps. It works for earrings. So it doesn't matter. You don't need to learn that many tricks, for everything a separate trick. These 2 tricks, they will take you through everything. Really. And sometimes, by the way, there are also components which have 2 loops that are phased, one in one way, the other in the other way. So you can also play with that. And some extra tips, that if you absolutely have to, sometimes it happens that you absolutely have to use a metal component, a jump ring to join join something to each other, then go for the oval shaped ones, because then the gap is on the side, so it's less likely that your thread would slide through the gap. That is, for me, that was a game changer. And another trick, I took down my earring that I promised to show it to Corinne. So you can even layer components to each other. This is, by the way, the Louisiana motif. And you can even layer components on top of each other. And again, I'm not afraid of glue. I choose good quality glue, but then I'm not afraid of it. And I actually glued this glass drop in metal setting on top of the filigree to create a really unique hanging part, which can then be, if I want to, I can attach it to a crystal component, the whole thing. I can attach it to the bottom of a beaded motif. So again, that's up to you. And one more type of joint that I quickly wanted to show you is that from a sequence of beads, my preference is Miyuki Delica 11. From a sequence of beads, you can create a loop around a special component. So, for example, that's how I attached the filigree, this beautiful filigree, to the bottom of my second 𝐁𝐄 motif. Or this is how I attached the key at the bottom of this beautiful cabochon. So you can see here again, the square stitch beads are holding the key, and even the rings here, the ring beads, they are attached by a sequence of square stitched beads to each other. So those were my tricks. Please let me know if you have any questions about this, and then I have a surprise. Even more surprises than 2 new jewels. In the meanwhile, while I'm watching for it, if you have any more questions, so please ask also about these tricks, about anything else. Beth, tell me your question. I will try to scroll back and find it. Beth is very generous and would like to give away one of the Easter eggs that she found during the Easter weekend. We had some Easter eggs and even a bunny, a very cute bunny hidden in the bead shop, that all of them meant little gift cards. Dear Beth, if you would like to give it away to someone, then all you need to do is send the downloadable file. In this case, it was a picture. Send it to the beader whom you would like to gift it to. Thank you, Beth, for your kindness. And so, you might say at this moment that, Erika, this is all very useful, but you are running so low on crystal connectors and on glass drops in metal settings. And a few weeks ago, when Faye asked about them, then I told her that they might be coming. And indeed, okay, my camera was not positioned in the best way, but do you see something behind me? In the meanwhile, I see a question from Cheryl. Dear Cheryl, please drop a line to info@beadingschool.com so Andrea can help you if she hasn't uploaded it yet. And indeed you have. noticed it well. So I have 2 new fuchsia, very dangerous boxes hiding here. 2 of them. You might have noticed that I love the crystal connectors and I love all kinds of glass drops in metal settings. There are so many possibilities, so many different shapes, from even here we had actually a discussion in the treasury that if this is a jellyfish or if this is a skirt of a ballerina, but there is just an incredible diversity in crystal connectors and in glass drops in metal settings. So we managed to restock them finally. We were waiting for them for a very long time and the collections didn't fit into one, so we created 2 fuchsia boxes for you, each of them containing 50 components. One of them is in cold tones, and I asked you a couple of days ago for some recommendations how to call this pair, and then it was decided to call them Bonnie and Clyde. So Clyde is holding 50 pieces of different crystal connectors and different glass drops in metal settings in cold tones, and Bonnie is hiding 50 of the same in warm tones. If you still have some extra time, then I would love to open them. Let me know. And in the meanwhile, I am waiting for you to tell me if you still have some extra time for the boxes. Just want to check my list that what's included. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different pieces, each of them in some of them in multiple colors, and from each type you receive 2, so you can use them either in a pair of earrings or you can use them into pendants if you would like to. Okay, I think you have enough time. Faye says safe can wait. Meta says always time for boxes. So let's see. I don't have the covers. The ladies in the treasury have them, of course, so I don't know which one I am opening at the moment. Let's see. So this is Bonnie. It's actually a heavy box. It's very substantial, and it's the bigger type of the fuchsia boxes. We have a little bit smaller version, which is square shaped, and this is the bigger type, and it's fully packed. And let's see what's inside. So we have here, there are some new ones too. Some of them you know, and some of them are completely new. So this is 14 times 22 millimeters in champagne yellow. It reminds me, for some reason, it reminds me of a type of sweet. So these are glass drops in metal settings in an opal yellow color. Then I have here 8 times 15 millimeter in ballerina pink. And most of these have the hole running from the top to the back, from the front to the back, but now you are prepared for dealing with them, aren't you? And these have a very special sparkle inside. I think a lot of you already had them in the past, and this pink is a very nice shade. I have another pair of this size. It's the 14 times 22 millimeter in light cyan red. comes the smaller one in 𝐷𝐿. It's actually a darker shade than the previous one. Then the bigger one again in ballerina pink. This is a transparent one, so some of these are opal and some of these are transparent. I have here, oh, this is like a very nice sparkle. This is how it looks from the back. So as you can see, this let the light shine through, creating this, all this sparkle. How do you like them so far, ladies? This is the same shape, 8x15 in amethyst purple. And again, the bigger one, 14x22 in pink. This one is again an opal tone, which I like it very much. So this one does not have this transparent effect. This does not let the line shining through. Marta is drawing on the keyboard. I have some smaller ones too. This is 6mm round charm. In a pink color. Again, lots of sparkle. Even these have a tiny, this is a very small one, a 6mm one, but even this has a hole on the back. And what I like about it, that the setting, the metal setting is very pretty. And then comes the same in purple. Oh, this is a beautiful shade of purple. And lots of sparkle. And then I have a third color of this. And it's a different kind of pink, in deep pink. So while the first one was a lighter shade, this is like Indian pink. I would pair it with Indian pink from Preciosa. And then we have here some connectors. So this is the ballerina tutu. After the discussion, if this is a jellyfish or a ballerina tutu, it was decided that it should be a ballerina tutu. And so that's how you find it. It's 14x16. And as you can see, one of the loops is facing to the front, one of the loops is facing sideways, but now you can deal with both situations. So these are the ballerina tutu. I have them here in more colors. Jeannie says, love the setting of the 6mm ones. Those are indeed pretty, but I also love the setting of these ballerina tutu connectors, that they have these dots on top of the crystal. It is a nice design element, I think. Oh, some more ballerina tutu. And this one is in smoke color. Ginny says it's an umbrella. It can also be an umbrella. And let's see. I found some rectangles. 6x12mm in magic purple. This is the one I think that 𝐊𝐿𝐿𝐿 used in the necklace that I showed you at the beginning. So this is a smaller one, but again with the light shining through and with lots of sparkle. It's a very similar shade, a tiny bit lighter than the 6mm round ones. And then cushion cut. These are very pretty. In the meanwhile, while I'm unpacking all of this, it's taking some time. It's like 50 pieces, that's a lot. So for this week, we actually, as usual, the fuchsia boxes mean a special nice deal that if you decide to go for a fuchsia box, then you get the same components for a lot lower price than what you would have paid for the same selection if you picked them up one by one in the bead shop. But in the fuchsia box, they are for a lot better price. So in one of the fuchsia boxes, the value of the components is over 83 euros. So if you picked them up one by one, this is a light purple, same size, same shape. So if you picked them up one by one in the bead shop, you would pay over 83 euros. And the price of the fuchsia box for one set, so either Bonnie or either Clyde, will be 59 euros each. However, if you decide to go for them this week, so that means, as usual, before next week's Coffee Time with Erika, then one box will cost you not even the 59, but 49 euros. And even better than that, if you would like to choose both of them, because Bonnie is nice, Clyde is nice, pink is nice, blue is nice, or purple and red is nice, and the green is also nice, which is in Clyde, then the two boxes together, after this week, they will cost 99 euros, but this week the two boxes will cost 89, with the value of over 166 of components included. And the two boxes together, they are part of a special bundle. So if you would like to take advantage of this, you need to pick up the special bundle. So this week for 89, it includes free shipping. You automatically will receive a discount of 19% for any other crystal components and glass drops in metal settings that you would like to pick up. No coupon code needed. After you check out with the bundle deal, automatically you will receive 19% off from the glass drops in metal settings and the crystal connectors, valid for 10 days. It will expire after 10 days. And we have restocked those crystal connectors and drops, which were already available in the website, in the bead shop. However, on Friday, we will release a new collection, new shapes, new colors. You can, of course, use the discount as many times as you wish. Take advantage of the join in with order in progress option and pick some up today if you would like to, or and pick some up on Friday again when we release the new ones. And besides that, the extra discount, there will also be a gift included if you pick up the bundle, and the gift will include 5 pairs of the crystal drops, of the glass drops that you see on the picture that I have just put on the screen. So there are different colors, and they will always come in pairs, and you will receive as a gift 5 pairs of them. So these are the extras that you receive with the bundle. Katie likes the gift too. In the meanwhile, I am unpacking some more. You were interested, I think, in the elongated connectors too. I got lots of questions about them, as they were included in the Tulip Tower tutorial, and they look very nice with these kinds of little motifs, or as Susie created, the statement necklace. Here are the connectors. If I have Susie or Andrea here with me, then could you please activate the 3 products in the bead shop and post the links for the ladies who might be interested? Niti says that her little son Vincent learned to clap yesterday, and he's clapping now, so that's a sure sign that something good is happening. These are the same elongated in transparent rose. In this case, the metal setting is this very smooth, shiny, golden toned one. Oh, and there is a 3rd pair of the elongated ones in red. In the Bonnie and the Clyde boxes, the same set of components are available, but of course in Bonnie they come in the warm tones, and in Clyde they come in the cold tones. And I think I don't have Andrea or Susie here, so please allow me to activate the product for you. Okay, if the website is still alive, I'm trying to do that, but just a moment. And they should be online any moment now. I have here also rectangular tiny crystal connectors. Sometimes the bigger ones are fitting better, like the elongated ones. Sometimes we need something tinier. These are 7 × 11 millimeter big. Then we have some more glass drops here. I think this is a big favorite of many of us, the 8 × 32 millimeters. And in Bonnie, I have them in transparent. And then I have them also in rosy pinkish color. Hi, Robina. Again, the loop is running from the front to the back. But how do you feel, ladies? Can you deal now with all kinds of loops that might need to be connected? I really hope so, especially after I published the blog post. And still, if you will have any questions left, then I am waiting for you in the club. And the 3rd pair. And the final pair, the 8 × 32 millimeter in smoke. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 8, 10, 12, 14, 20, 26, 28, 30, 36, 40, 50 pieces of components in Bonnie, and the same shapes and sizes 50 pieces also in 𝐊𝐈. I will make a different video about 𝐊𝐈 because my voice is starting to tremble. I will post for you the links. So as you could see in the examples, you can, by adding these final touches, you can really create a professional look of your jewels and to make them into your own personal style. And if you would like to ask anything about the connectors, about the drops, please let me know. Or about anything else, I'm here for you. Please remember that the super special price, it's valid for 1 week, and then it will be raised by a little bit. And there is also a gift included and an additional discount included. Robina's birthday is coming. Good timing. If you don't have any more questions left, then thank you so much for today's attention. I hope that all the tricks that I showed you will come handy when you are creating your jewels. I love seeing you happy with your creations and going personal with the extra touches. And I will be waiting for you on Friday with the new little tutorial with No One Has to Bead Alone and some more things coming this week. Saturday is storytelling time, so if you can make it, please come to Saturday's lunch break. It's for fuchsia and turquoise students, and 𝐁𝐄𝐃 will bring you a bunch of tales from all around the world featuring jewels and featuring gemstones again. Thank you so much, ladies, and have a lovely rest of the day. Bye-bye.